Let's see. This. No.
Hello.
No.
Okay, it's got us live. Hello. So we're here a couple minutes early.
Awesome. No.
So anyhow, I'll give it a couple minutes for some people to get in here.
No problem.
Okay, it's got us live. Hello. So we're here a couple minutes early.
Awesome. No.
Okay, mute the mic on that side so I don't get any bleed back.
That's right.
Tweak this a little bit. Okay now. And so anyhow, so media guys got testing, so you should hear me okay on the media guy, right? Hello, yeah, record this, I got audio. Here we go. So anyhow, I guess I'll run with this. Yeah, I'm back tonight, but yes, and I also have Dwayne with me. Okay, and so Dwayne will have some news for you tonight. Okay, so don't count on live streams on a regular basis up here on YouTube. It just ain't gonna happen with the stuff that I would have to talk about. They'll take my channel down and I won't be here at all. You know how that goes? You should know that. Okay, as I've lost a few channels already. And so the reality is I'll let Dwayne fill you in a little bit more on that.
Well, automatically, we got the True Force Loneliness new channel up on Odyssey. So if you would go to odyssee.com/@ True Force Loneliness, you'll be able to have the new True Force Loneliness channel up and going on that website as of earlier this morning. The TFL website is returning next month in February 2023. Other than that, things are looking up, and TFL is going to be making a big comeback. Back to you, Bill.
Okay, well, the reality is a lot of the stuff that's going on in the world right now, way back in the day when I gave you the name TFL, True Force Loneliness, I also connected it to what's going on in the world when it comes to NWO. And I talked about this a lot, and I had people confused over the years. Why would we be talking about that? Why would we be talking about dating scenes? Okay? And anybody that can't see the connection right now in their face, okay, is clearly turning their back and looking the other way and ignoring what they're seeing. Because there would be absolutely no excuse to not be able to see the connection at this point in time. Okay, that's literally what it comes down to. It's in your face. This is what the Great Reset, NWO. No more genders. No more births. That's right. All pro births born in a military lab. You think that stuff's nuts? No, it's not nuts. It's happening right in your face. This is what this has always been about. You had to destroy the genders and destroy the family unit completely. And that's how TFL became to be to begin with. But I understand if I go too deep, they'll just throw me off the live stream, right?
Of course, we could get into how they like to break up TFL to begin with and why they're doing it and why they're trying to currently hide it.
Well, yeah, the best way to see the thing with it is TFL, Two Force Loneliness, was grassroots from the word get go. And it was the only real thing online, and they couldn't have that. Plus, the fact that I was hovering over the top of social engineering machine with information that they didn't want the public knowing. Okay? So they had to go out of their way and put more people in the manosphere when TFL first come on. The only thing that existed was MRA, men's rights activists, and PUA. There was no men going their own way. No, MGTOW did not exist, and neither did Incel. Neither did Forever Alone. None of them existed. All there was the pickup artist industry, okay, and MRA, men's rights activists. And of course, the pickup artist industry is what you call problem, reaction, solution. And I see Corey is amongst us tonight. He has found me. And so that's the reason, okay, TFL is here to begin with, is because what's going on right now in your face, in the world, in real time. And if you go back to 2020 when I was doing the Saturday Night Live series for you, once every Saturday, people heard me scream over and over Agenda 21 in their face. And guess what? It hasn't stopped. It's going on all day long. All you got to do is open your eyes and pay attention. Okay, but if you don't want to pay attention because you're too scared, well, then you're complicit with what's about to happen to you. Because to turn your head and look the other way means you agree with what's going to happen to you. So when there's no food to be gotten, that's probably because you want to starve, right? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be an ass, but the reality is reality. You know, if you turn your back on a hungry bear, you think he cares which way you're facing when he chows you down? No. You don't. And so that's where this comes from. And so over on Odyssey, Dwayne has put together a Two Force Loneliness page for you. And we're going to be doing stuff, but this is where it's going to be posted at. Okay? It's over on Odyssey. Because the stuff that we need to talk about, if I continue to talk about here, you already know the results. And as far as people trying to break me and Dwayne up, or TFL down, the only way they could break it up was to pit the main players against each other. And when you really look deep enough, you figure out there was people behind the scenes that were doing just this. because the actual problem was created by the powers to be, and they're not going to make the problem go away. So they had to make the source that was exposing it go away. And as long as you believe what they want you to believe and you continue to play games with each other and keep the division alive, they don't mind that at all. And so the reality is the reality. So no, I'm not staying up on live streams. You're not going to get a weekly thing here. I mean, I've already 3, 4 channels taken away from me, thousands of videos. I've had feds at my door. I've had military outside my door for real. All this stuff really happened. Okay? For doing what I do. And sometimes I have a problem with not opening my mouth because I understand one thing's for sure. If we do nothing about it, they win. And if they win, you won't be alive. And if you think they're joking about population reduction, you're going to find out that history is replaying itself right now in your face. And they have no qualms with making people not here no more. That's what
See, they're missing. I
they're
see
not.
they're also missing a former member of the movement, which is Mr. Steve Hoka. Of course, we miss him, but it's pretty much up to Steve Hoka if he's listening or not, or maybe listening later, to understand that you have to forgive. You got to forget the past. You got to see the task that's before you. You got to look past what happened back then, see it for what it is, move forward, fight on, and get rid of this problem, which is going on with what made TFL to begin with. It's as simple as that. Together we win.
Yep. And what this last person said here about you own nothing, he's absolutely correct. If you don't open your eyes and understand that the powers to be only have power from us, the people, and only us, the people, can take that power away from them. But you keep complying. You just keep listening to the orders and following along and watch and see what your fate's going to be. You're not going to like it. You're not going to want anything to do with it by the time you figure out what people have been trying to tell you was real. It was never a joke. It was never just a nut job conspiracy theorist type stuff. Just go ahead, keep parroting the words they want you to parrot, and you lose. That's how it goes, but unfortunately, you're also going to take the people who are trying to help you down with you. Now, for the last 6, 7 months, I've been on a weekly conference call with somebody people know in here. Warren, that's right. And John. A lot of you won't remember John because he's back from the Blog Talk radio show days, okay? But a lot of you in here know who Warren is. Yeah. So, and so no, Warren's not out of touch with that, but the reality is the reality. We have to understand that non-compliance on a worldwide basis is needed. And then understand who your real enemy is. It's that very thing you break your butt to get your hands on that you need to live. Okay? And that's no lie. I call it the tool. You might want to call it money. See, the owners of the money are who's financing and supporting and behind what's going on. And there's only one way you're going to be able to stop this. You have to take the monetary system worldwide away from who has it. End of story. Okay, and then work your way down into the criminal order followers. And for the people in the military, the only thing I can tell you is if you follow your orders, you will repeat history. For law enforcement, if you follow orders, you will repeat history. And that's going to include your children too. So you might want to stop to think about that. None of this has to be going on. The so-called power outages, well, yeah, Agenda 21, 2030 all day long. The food shortages that's getting ready to slap you in the face. I've been telling him, warning John for the last 7, 8 months now that 2023 was going to go sideways. That things are going to get really ugly in 2023. Okay, and you could pretty much bet on it. You're already seeing the signs right in your face. Keep turning your back. You wish you hadn't.
In other words, they're making Americans go, training us to go without less.
You're going to go with a whole lot less.
Yep.
If they get their wants, you won't even have no jobs. None of you will.
Nor food.
Yep. You won't have no food. You won't have no jobs.
No shelter, no warmth.
Your electric goes out, you're in the wrong state, you got heavy winters and cold weather. Okay. You might want to ask yourself, what are you going to do to keep warm? And if you don't think that none of this stuff can happen to you, well, then you're like a lot of people that allowed history to replay itself, because they said the same thing that you'd be saying just before they died from the very thing they said couldn't happen to them. That's just really how that works. Turn your head, they don't mind you turning your head. I told you, the hungry bear, the hungry lion, they don't care what direction you're facing. They never have and never will. So, you know, and I see old Corey's in there. Well, you know, Corey, if I'm up on, if you want to come up on Zoom and you want in here, I'll bring you in. But that's totally up to you. And just remember what Dwayne told you earlier, because when you're not seeing me come up on live streams on YouTube anymore, you think I've disappeared again. I haven't disappeared. You need to pay attention to what was said to you. True force loneliness on Odyssey. That's where you're going to find us. You're not going to find us here on YouTube. You're going to have to go over there. And it's being done that way deliberately because YouTube ain't going to let us anyhow. They're just, you know, I've already lost 3, 4 channels on this platform. Okay? And I've been censored here and on Blog Talk and other places around the net, but you know, YouTube's not the place to be. It's owned by your enemy.
That's because they bought it up to own it and lock it down.
Yeah, the very people that are on board with, well, doing all this stuff is the very people that I'm talking about, okay? But I pointed all this out years ago. You know, and people just got to try to understand. This is all pointed out years ago. Let's see. Who would do that?
Hey.
Hey, how's it going there, Corey?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Cool.
You might want to say hi to Dwayne.
Hey, what's up, Dwayne?
Hey, what's up, Corey?
Not much.
So how's your year been going? You ready for the new year?
I'm ready for New Year because it's a new fucking chapter in my life.
Did you get the hell out? Did you get the heck out of there finally?
You said what now?
Did you get the heck out of where you were at?
No, I'm still in here until probably middle next month.
Okay,
It's be very
they're
soon.
dragging you along, man. They're trying to drag you through the coals, leave you stuck in that place, ain't they?
That's basically what they're going to try to do.
Yeah, I see them trying to drag you through the coals and try
They
to
they
keep
need people
stuck
so
there.
bad. They're trying to retain everybody for anything. Yeah. They just lifted the C word ban on the jab, and now, but I'm already halfway. I'm almost out the door, so it's too late for me now. I've already been right off my discharge.
Well, that's a plus with what's getting ready to come down because you know they're going to lead us into
Because I would
war.
just go AWOL
Yep.
if they just don't let me out of here. You know what I'm saying? I would just go on the run because they ain't gonna send no cop after you.
Well, they're getting ready for a lot of bad stuff, and this country is the target country to bring down. We are a great Rome point 02, you know. We are Rome part 2.
Yep, Rome passed it down. Yeah,
And the reality is, just like World War One and World War Two, where you wrote at the same time they wrote World War Three. They wrote all 3 wars before they ever took place. And World War One and Two played out just like they said it would, with the sides that they said and the winner that they said. Well, how do you think that's going to go for World War Three? Exactly the same. The only difference is America don't win. America falls.
just like Rome did to the Germans.
You got it.
And you talk to other guys about women in different countries. They're all the same. It's just America's just the worst, and UK and America are just the worst.
Well, the Western countries, Australia, United Kingdom, Canada, America, France, you know, your Five Eye countries. This is really where they ramped it up. And when it came to the breakup of the family unit and splitting up the genders, you got to remember this is a worldwide global thing because Human 2.0 is for real. This is what they're trying to create, okay? And in Human 2.0, there's no more procreation. They changed the DNA, and the sex drive goes bye bye, okay? There's no more man and woman family unit, no more procreation. Okay, all of that's gone forever. Why do you think TFL is here? Because they planned on doing away with genders. They don't want the family unit no more. They don't want men and women procreating and creating families. They don't want anything to do with any of that. And anybody that thinks that I'm talking nonsense is, well, they just spread out nonsense themselves because they're not paying attention to nothing. They're just turning their head and looking the other way. So where do you think TFL came from? It was no accident. I pointed way back in the day at NWO and told you it was deliberately done.
Yeah, that is true. And they want to. And a YouTuber just said that he opened the door for a woman, and she said, "I don't need no man to open the door for me, and I'm a they. I don't call me ma'am either." It's getting out of control.
Well, yeah, it's been getting bad because this is what happens when you divide people. What you did is, I told you this before. If I took a pole or a pencil, and on one side, let's say the lead side of the pencil is programming to women, and the eraser side of the pencil is the programming towards men. This is exactly how they done it. Okay, and it's always been divide and conquer. All of it. The races fighting each other, and every aspect they could find, they created division. That's the reason I fought against division. That's the reason I did a series called It Happen Again. Because one of my main fights was division. The family unit, the genders are broke up and not by accident. And the behaviors come from that social engineering because you used mainstream media to paint the man out as the one abusing the woman. The man's the villain, the woman's the poor victim. But in real life, because they report everything upside down, the man was the primary victim, with the woman being the secondary victim. That is the real truth, not the lie that you get from that lying TV set. Anybody says their TV set don't lie to them, I only got one thing to say. That's all your TV set's ever done. And I mean ever done.
It's a black mirror of lies.
I just wish more people would understand this. TFL's not no accident for being here, for the amount of men that are actually living it. And the anger that's brandished by the genders at each other. All been deliberately done. They can't get their human 2.0 without it. See, just like World War I and II, ain't gonna be no different now, man. Handicapped, disabled, so on, are gonna be targeted. As if they haven't already been targeted by society for all these decades anyhow, huh?
That's true. They're the first on the chopping block.
Yep. It's pretty sad, that we have to be where we're at. This is where we're at. And so, Dwayne, you want to throw some comment in?
Yeah, something like euthanasia up in Canada, the MAIDS program, medical assistance in dying, and plus how it compares to Adolf Hitler's Action T4 program back in Nazi Germany on his rise to power. In other words, he started with the disability community before, in other words, he experimented on people that were elderly, sick, not pure of Aryan race, to the Nazi regime, the philosophies, and were thus experimented on and killed just before they moved on to an entire race, which was the Jews, POWs in the concentration camps, leading up to the final solution. In other words, why do they always start with the disability community? And notice when you look through history, it's always the topic of the Holocaust, the Jews, POWs, gypsies. It first started with people with disabilities. 300,000 plus individuals with disabilities in Nazi Germany perished under Adolf Hitler's murderous regime, which most of the eugenics programs, philosophies that he got was from us here in the United States.
It was
of the American eugenics movement.
That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely spot across the board. And people think they haven't already been doing that already. Oh yeah, since the onset of 2020, okay, they've been doing just exactly that with something that don't exist that they're claiming exists without going into saying names. I'm not going to say names. I mean, yeah, I want to keep the live stream up at least until we end it without them ending it for me.
In other words, that's why we're careful about how we say and what we present here for the time being for those who are listening.
Now over on honesty, I don't know. I won't hold back. I'll say exactly what I want to say. I'm not gonna play favoritism the words neither.
You don't have to pull any punches over there.
And so that's one of the reasons it's gonna be over there. You can't do that if you're on YouTube. You can stick to dating scenes and be careful about what you say, and you pretty much probably be left alone. Okay, but you gotta be careful about what you say. When you start pointing out the real truth, of course, which I've got a bad habit of doing. And then for some reason they don't like me because I have a bad habit of telling truth.
My feeling is the reason why TFL was targeted as the way it was back then is because we were hitting all the numbers on a global scale. So the elitists at the time was listening in, studying us. In other words, we were stepping on their social engineering program, their PSYOPs. That was all across social media at the time, which was on this specific platform that we're trying to pretty much get away from right now.
Right.
So that's what they've done. In other words, they come in with their big tech platforms like who owns YouTube. So they lock everything down so that people can't find this movement anymore and hide it away from, so it doesn't grow popular as it once did.
Well, anybody that was around back then would tell you that the main channel was hitting 10,000 views per video every single day. Okay, I could do 4 videos in a day, and all 4 of them would get 10,000 views within 24 hours. Okay, within a week they'd be 150, 200,000, and it just kept growing, and the numbers were huge. You could only do a 10-minute video. You couldn't do any more than 10 minutes. There was no such thing as live streaming. Okay, YouTube was still in its infancy, and TFL went global. Okay, and I wasn't planning on it going global at the time. I didn't realize the problem was as bad as it actually was when I gave the name. And I went, but through research, okay, I found the actual root cause, and unfortunately, with time and learning more, what Dwayne just said would be true. We was targeted from the get go, okay, because we were hanging over programming that was still in the middle of happening, and they wasn't far enough along, and they didn't want the message because of too many people worldwide realized where the problem of the dating arena was coming from. At that particular time, you still had more values and morals in society than what you do now. We could have messed them up pretty good, set them back another 50, 70 years, if not more. Well, they couldn't have that, so they've done what they've done.
So is it true that when Google came in and bought up YouTube, as we were growing and growing and growing on a global scale, so my assumption is, my thinking is, they couldn't have that. So in other words, since we were stepping all over their social engineering program, they went through Google, bought up YouTube, lock everything down, and then that's when the powers that be supposedly came right after they officially owned YouTube through Google.
Well,
Is
yeah,
that correct, Bill?
that guy would have introduced himself to a backup channel that nobody knew I had at the time. Didn't even have one video on it. Nobody knew it existed. Okay, and at that time, YouTube had private emails from YouTube account to YouTube account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I got booted off my main channel for the first time ever. I was out for 3 months. Couldn't even log into it. Okay, all of my stuff was there, but I couldn't log in. I was out for 3 months, and I went to my backup channel, and there was a brand new email sitting in that email that just came in that day. Okay, they introduced themselves to me as Baron David Rothschild. I swore it was a troll. I'm telling you, man, there ain't no way this is a real Rothschild. Blah blah blah. It's a troll. I know it's a troll. Oh, they didn't speak as a troll, but they gave me a warning. Blah blah. And I didn't listen to it because I had went over and looked, and all my videos were there. It's just locked out. And they had told me that I can speak what I want to about NWO and so on, but to leave their good family name out of my videos, or they would take the liberty of removing my channel. Okay, they went on to write me 4 more emails and told me how they ran into me, how he came to be where he was at, and it all added up. Okay, and it was real McCoy. No comments, nowhere, made no videos, nothing. What they left to see the thing was as I tested the waters because I knew it was a troll. So I went and made a video and I brought up the good family name. And like 10, 15 minutes later, I get an email back on my YouTube account from the same person telling me, Bill, I've warned you. You don't know who you're messing with. I told you who I am and I'm not joking you. So I've taken the liberty of having your channel removed. And I went about BS, troll, and I went over there. It's gone. Like 1,200 videos and the channel was just gone. That was the beginning of my fun. That censorship started right then on me. Censorship that people think was bad now was already happening to me back then.
That's what the Rothschilds supposedly being a good family. They're not a good family. They made their global fortune, their multi-trillions of dollars from the wars that they were on both sides of, especially during, what was it, Bill, the French Revolution, I believe?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Star Wars. They play both sides.
Correct. That's how they made their fortune, through the wars that they manipulated, being on both sides of the field.
Well, when you own the monetary system, you finance both sides and you steal the resources of the land that you're on. And they've done it so many times now, centralized. then now they have the world's resources in their back pockets.
Correct. And then when you think about it, they're going around killing people. Both sides are going around killing people through the wars that they're on both sides of. So they let both sides, which is through what, ladies and gentlemen, divide and conquer. They let each other destroy themselves, kill their populations, kill that natural resources and everything around them. So then what do? The Rothschilds do after everything is said and over with? They come in and buy up everything, and then they become powerful and more richer. That's how it's done, especially in today's modern time. That's how the military-industrial complex, gets down.
That's exactly what it is, and unfortunately, people don't recognize a lot what they've done. They have to come along and plant more agents in the ministry, more employees of the establishment. I just call them that because I think it's better sounding. Okay? Employees of the establishment, people willing to take the tool and do anything for the tool, which is money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so they planted these people in amongst the manosphere. That's where Turfling Monkey came from. That's where Coach Red Pill came from, where Coach Black Pill came from. That's where Monday came from. That's where Sandman came from. Do I need to go on? These people are all employees of the establishment.
They're paid to be on these social media platforms, not just the one in particular we're talking about tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but through all out big tech, places like Twitter, places like Facebook, right here on YouTube, all throughout Google. Oh, let's see, what else is out there, Bill? Instagram.
There's so many
Snapchat,
of them. There's so
TikTok,
many of them now. Yeah.
TikTok, all over the place, doing what? Getting paid to what? Bring you social engineering, bringing you propaganda, their propaganda, the elite establishment's propaganda, and condition the population through social media. You understand that, ladies and gentlemen?
To stay divided, to all be fighting each other, to be worried about skin color, to be worried about race, and to be, to tell me I got white privilege, And if they tell me I got white privilege, I might tell them I know I do. You got black privilege. How's it feel? Or I might say you got Asian prison. How's it privilege? How's it feel? Now it might piss you off, but the reality is there is no privilege. Okay. At one time or another, every single race on this damn planet's been enslaved by these idiots. Hey, I see Kevin's here. Yes, sir. That is Kevin, man. Long time.
Hey, what do y'all think? I mean, like even all these. I mean, I think even Tate is agent. I mean, obviously, and this is probably this whole thing that happened yesterday staged.
Yeah, it's sad, but the reality is the reality. I didn't create the problem. Okay, Corey knows he's out there and he's dealing with the dating scene. He'll tell you, man, his experiences and they'll line up with everything I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I've had a 6 month relationship, but it, when these Western women want to lock you down into marriage, they have an ulterior motive.
Unfortunately, marriage ends up in divorce anymore because nobody knows how to treat each other.
And also, yep, that
they don't know how to treat each other. Are they chasing gold? Or they're chasing their wants? Or they think that they can shape you into their want? Like you're a piece of clay. They can mold you into their want. Okay, and it's all division. It's all deliberately done. I say all the time when they say, "Who wears the pants in your family?" I say nobody does. We run around naked. And they get mad at me for that because if I say I wear the pants, I'm calling her a slave. And she says she's wearing the pants, she's calling me a slave. You're supposed to be growing adults. You're supposed to, the foundation of a successful relationship between a man and a woman starts with friendship. But in today's society, friendship? Just friends? It's a rejection line. A foundation is being used as a rejection line. And you wonder why nothing works out, huh?
Yeah, but I think women are today are just in their I don't want to cuss too bad in here because this is your stream, but they're very promiscuous and they're just based on everything's based on looks.
People want to say it's not based on that in today's society. Nothing's 100% across the board, but there's a whole bunch that go just by that because that's what the social engineering machine taught them. Girls are given little princesses programming. Okay,
Here,
so
Beauty and the Beast, all that.
Check this out.
Yes.
I'll give everybody here an example. What Bill's trying to say here. This is from the New York Post. This is August 18th, 2022 of this year. Well, it still is this year. A woman says why she's rejecting these lonely single men. Unless you were hiding under a rock this week, you would have read about an article published on Psychology Today titled, quote, "The Rise of Lonely Single Men," end quote. It was written by psychologist Greg Matos and revealed that dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as relationship standards rise. The psychologist explained that women are now only dating men who share the same values, have great communication skills, and are emotionally available. Praise the Lord. Toxic men are out. Respectful studs are in. Now, first of all, may we get our violins and play a sad melody for the men who have treated women like absolute rubbish and then realize that they're now single and alone. How unfair for these poor creatures. You see, while they were bed hopping, ghosting, breadcrumbing, and doing all sorts of mind fuckery to us women folk, we were quietly and subtly embracing these self-love culture that started to emerge in TED Talks, TikTok videos, YouTube channels, and various other online forums. Oprah preached, quote, "If you feel like he is stringing you along, then he probably is. Don't stay because you think it will get better. You'll be mad at yourself a year later for staying when things are not better," end quote. Yada, yada, yada. So what do you all get out of that propaganda article?
you know what it does is the same thing we've always known. It keeps the division alive. It still paints the man out as the entire villain. Okay, but what did I tell you? Men are the primary victims, women are the secondary victims, but mainstream media will report everything upside down.
Mm-hmm.
They always invert the truth.
Exactly. It's always inverted. You're not going to get the truth from your TV. And if you do tell you something, you got to invert what they say to get the real truth. Because
Like
you
a
won't
math
get it any
equation.
other way.
It's like a math equation. You got to add a negative sign to it, invert it, and then process it.
Yes. It's the only way you can truly understand what's really going on.
Simple-minded people they believe, and I've heard that TV actually puts. I think more people, young people today, are mesmerized by their phone and the mainstream media through their phone. Old baby people, baby boomer generation, that when you watch TV, all TV, Netflix, movie, whatever, your brain goes into a different brainwave frequency, and you absorb whatever they're telling you. If you don't keep your conscious mind on consciously. It goes right into your subconscious and you're programmed with it.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. And what Corey said is so true. Mark Passio was somebody that from 2020. I told you I still do listen to off and on. Now, he's done a couple of things recently where he actually calmed his ass down, okay? He does tell a lot of truth, though, and he is the only person out there that I know of outside of us, okay, who actually did a really good job of breaking down what was going on amongst the genders.
Yeah, he has a seminar called like Toxic Feminism or something like that.
It's neo-feminism.
Neo-feminism. Okay.
Yes, and he has 2 parts. Both of them are 3 hours long. Okay, and it's definitely listening to, because when he gets into that, man, he's going to show you stuff that I've been screaming and showing you for years. He's going to put it right in your face.
And but I've listened to it before, but I've listened to it in its entirety before. But he's one of the few outspoken, one of the few kind of agents that actually talks about how toxic the dating scene is.
Yeah. Those people, most won't even touch that. They won't even touch it. Okay. But but I'm not an employee of the establishment, and I'm not been put through the MK Ultra program, even though technically all of us are being put through the MK Ultra program and didn't even know it.
Right.
Because you can say no, I wasn't, but technically yes, you was. Because see, the human brain was modeled the computer was invented and modeled off the human brain. When you're born, I want you to think of it this way. Your brain is a lot like motherboard or computer. Has a hard drive that's blank. And what do we do with a computer? We program it with software. Well, how do we program the human brain with software? Well, there's that black magic box called a TV set. You came home with a brand new baby. And then there's this school system that just happens to be being controlled worldwide by the powers to be. Garbage in, garbage out. We programmed you to everything you learned growing up. The problem was 90% of everything you ever learned growing up was all BS. It's meant to shape your behavior because through your consciousness, okay, that's your information, okay? You take information in. This becomes your perception. And with that perception from information taken in becomes a belief, then that becomes your behavior. They trickle down and your behavior comes off that. And they know this. And they have perfected it. This is what you call mind control.
Yep, they they sit you in front of that black mirror as a baby, and you program with what not only what products what to buy, but what to think and how to act, and with your native tongue and language as well. So that's all programmed into you as in your formative years, just like formatting a hard drive.
That's right. That's exactly it. People just don't understand. And why do you think Human 2.0, they want to put a chip in the head and control you with AI? Because we are electrical beings. And you can say, well, we're not electrical beings. Yeah, and it can be proven. How do you restart the heart? With a defibrillator. What's that? Electricity. Okay, here, I'll give you another tiblet. Okay, Dabu7 spilled this last night. Okay, and he either didn't know what he was talking about or he deliberately done it, one or the other. Okay, he talked about a report. Now, this is funny stuff here. Okay, that they have found a way to take ocean water and turn it into fresh drinking water, because we're running out of water on the water planet. BS. Oh, well, no, we're running out of clean, fresh drinking water. Once again, BS. This planet produces that water every day by itself. We have more water on this planet. You got land, and we have fresh water underneath it that never runs out because the planet produces it. Okay, but they're not telling you that. So what is W7 saying? He's talking about they can add electricity. They're shooting electricity into the water, and it's cleaning it. It's filtering it. Now the ocean water is clean drinking water. No. Okay? Here's the real truth. See, once upon a time, there was a man that invented an invention. He put it on his car motor, and he used electricity to separate the hydrogen out of the water. And he captured the hydrogen and put it in a tank just like propane. And he ran the car motor on it, and he could fill up from any creek, any stream, from a garden hose. And it took the hydrogen out of the water and ran it down the road. Okay, and how did he do that? With electricity. So what did W7 really say? They were using electricity to pull the hydrogen out of the water and calling it fresh water and feeding it back to you. That means you won't have no hydrogen, which is the gas part of your heart. See your heart like that of a car motor, okay? In a car motor, you shoot fuel, gas into it, and you use a spark plug, your ignition system, to ignite it. In a heart, human heart, we have a pacemaker. That's the electrical part of your heart. And the other part of the heart is gas. Well, where'd that gas be coming from? The hydrogen that's in the water. Why do you think you need water to live? So do you
Yep.
see what he really said? They're taking the hydrogen out of the water and telling you it's fresh, clean drinking water. And if that's all you drink, it'll kill you. You ain't got no hydrogen in it. Yeah, or like eating corn. If the only food left on this planet is corn, you're going to die of starvation. Your body can't process it.
It's not nutritious for a human being.
Exactly. And it's no different than the water. See, and I caught that when W7 mentioned that last night. Well, they're cleaning the water with electricity. Yeah, they're cleaning it all right. They're taking the hydrogen out of it and then giving it to you. Now it's no good for you. But it is a eugenics program. It is about population reduction and through any means possible. Now do you see where we're going?
Going right down to
Yep.
Illuminati.
Well, I'm sorry, but Lone Hiker, corn is fiber. Corn is no good for you. Your body can't even digest it. If that's all you got to live on, good luck. I don't want to be in your shoes.
You'll waste away.
You got it.
And we have some, and then the whole shilling, you have so many female shills now that are pretending to be on men's side. I'm not going to say any names, but all these little female shills are pretending to be on men's side, but they just say what men want to hear and they get 1 billion views overnight.
Oh, that's what you call selfishness in their little 15 minutes of fame.
Or some that are just agents that are up here making the problem worse when it comes to social engineering and profiting off of it. Right,
Oh,
Bill?
yeah, like Diana Boston. Oops, I said a name, dang it.
Just Pearly Things, Melanie King, all of them are just say what you want to hear.
Yeah, people like
And
Chelsea Clinton, for example.
What she say? She pretends to be on men's side too?
You didn't hear? In January 6, 2020, Chelsea Clinton reaps 9 million from corporate board position. Let's see here. Chelsea Clinton has reaped 9 million in compensation since 2011 for serving on the board of an internet investment company, according to Barron's, the financial publication. Barron's reported Sunday that Clinton has profited handsomely as a board member of IAC /Interactive Corporation, a media and internet investment company that has an ownership stake in 150 well-known brands, such as, you ready? Vimeo, Tinder, Angie's List, and Home Advisor. Clinton, the only child of former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, has served on IAC's board since 2011 and receives an annual $50,000 retainer and $250,000 worth of restricted IAC stock units, Barron's reports. She reported owning $8.95 million worth of IAC stock to the Securities and Exchange Commission at the end of December. Barron's notes that IACA's stock has risen 89%, 50%, and 36% in 2017, 2018, and 2019, respectively, a far steeper rise than the broader stock market. Clinton's public profile has proved a valuable commodity, on and on and on. So in other words, when it came to the TFL, they're profiting off of causing TFL for the elite establishment.
Well,
Go ahead.
They are. What do you think PUA was about? And they're profiting off of the dilemma they created.
Correct.
Did you hear that? Did you hear Alan Curry died?
No.
Alan Curry was this black PUA that says, "Oh, just be direct with women in America."
Oh,
nope.
okay.
I haven't heard of him.
Is he like the game, the guy that played fucking up on YouTube?
The who?
You didn't hear of him?
He's called The Game?
Well, he pushed the game. Trying to think of what his name was now.
You talking about mystery and
No, he was on. Coming up on Blog Talk Radio. I'm trying to get his name in my head.
Tony, or I think it was Tony there, Bill. Tony something.
No, he was the one that fucking was attacking us.
Yeah. The students after us, and then most of the students
No,
came
that
from
was
him over to us.
No, this was PUA.
oh that you
This-
you're talking about the man mindset dude.
Yes, this guy was a black man.
Yeah, he's the man mindset. He's like
Well, it was
Queen
maybe
Williams or
wasn't mindset at the time.
Queen Williams or something.
He was the one pushing all the you gotta have game of the dating scene and blah blah blah.
No, he's married to a
Player Supreme.
woman.
That's what it was.
Player Supreme. Yeah, he died too. He died 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the guy that mainly attacked MGTOW and TFL was called Steve the Queen, or they call him Steve. He calls himself Stephen Dean, but we call him Steve the Queen Williams. He said, "Oh, y'all just some gay motherfuckers that can't get laid or some shit like that." He said some shit.
Well, that's one of the big problems is that they perceive that as the same as love, but it's not. Okay, so really, what he's doing is just pushing. He's parodying the elites want. Okay, that's all he's doing.
The guy's in his wife's basement making a podcast while she earns money, and she's so unattractive that he doesn't never show her. So.
Well, yeah. Well, it's so retarded. These guys.
He's trying to be a pimp, but he's just a square.
Simps anyhow. Okay.
Yeah, he's trying to be. He's just a simp. He pretending to be a pimp, but he's just a simp.
That's all he is. He's a simp.
Like everyone that doesn't just run around and have sex with every woman they see is gay. That's the way his definition.
And
no standards, no nothing.
Is, this is just more destruction of the family unit. That's all that ever was. Okay? Because when you put sex up front first and foremost, then that's what it'll be. And when it's all said and done, you won't be together neither. Because friendship is the foundation of.
Well, the girl's gonna chase.
If you want to find real love, it starts with friendship.
And it's also love is extensionality. Love is a romantic term. So extensionality means that person actually is an extension to your life. Yeah. They actually benefit you. Any player or any man eater can say, I love you, but does it mean anything? Most times it doesn't.
There's a big difference there. People are famous for using the words. But that's all they're doing. They're just users. They're manipulators. They're deceivers.
Yeah, just like when they try to get your hands on your money, they use "I love you" as a catch line to emotionally trigger you for a response as an action to get money from you. That's what scammers do. Also, that's as much as well as these dating life coach gurus here that are here on the social media platform, for instance, are here for the tool. They use words to trigger their response from their audience and stuff for donations and live stream cash and free cash and all that stuff. You get where we're going. And they keep TFL going that way too. That's what they do. They make money off of the problem that they created, just like Bill just said.
Yep, they create the problem and they give you the fake solution.
Yeah. And and that's really what it was all about. Now I remember when Dwayne was talking about Tony. See, that was the PUA guy who sent his whole class over to attack us. Okay, of course he lost half of his class. Because they come over and then they started listening to videos and realized that he was taking them for a ride and stealing their money, and they attacked him.
Cool.
Half of them woke up.
Yep. He actually, when he thought his students was going to attack us, he lost half of his students, and he was losing money to us because we were telling truth, not BS. See, I was never here for money.
Don't you people understand that's the reason why they hate the TFL True Force Holiness movement, why we're here? Because we don't accept your donations. We don't accept your money, the tool. So we're, in other words, to them that are there right now all over this place and other social media platforms pushing this shit to brainwash you for your cash, for your money, for the tool and stuff, are making money off of the problems that they themselves created, and they're keeping it going constantly. Puts you in that mindset. That it should be all about selfishness. It should be all about yourself, living your best life, your thought process. Emotions make you weak and shit. You shouldn't be a human being. I mean, it's just craziness what I'm hearing. I hear it every single day. I hear it every single night. From TV to the online videos, I hear it every single day. That is just secondhand nature to me.
Yep.
They're making money off of all this. That's all this is. It's business.
That's all it is to them. Okay. You know, and people like this, if your mindset is you still have to have the tool in today's society, okay, and that's all it's about to you, well, the only thing you're going to do is help your own self die. You
Look at like
understand the tool is your enemy right now. The money is your enemy because it's the people who own and control the money that are behind everything that's going on.
look at Zach Hubbard. He goes out, begs for donations, buy a new house, a new car, and buy his China woman girlfriend Louis Vuitton purses because they last longer. And
So he had to buy fake love, right?
Yeah, he can't. He's basically an incel TFLer that has to go get a China. Well, nothing wrong with a foreign. I mean, just foreign woman, not racial. I'm talking about what they want come over here for a green card. He got a woman for like from Burma or some shit. Basically, a desperate woman that's looking for a white guy with money to get her to let him give him sex for money. Basically, it's a seeking arrangement type of deal. It's a trick.
Well, that's why I tell the ladies up front that I'm dating right now and shit. Filipinas, mostly from the Philippines, that are pretty much going to come here in the future to spend time with me and spend time together. I let them know up front, I cannot marry you. The reason why I cannot marry you is because I live in an evil country that still has a eugenics program through eugenics policies that me as a disabled person that also receives family death benefits at the same time once every month. If I'm should get married, I've been told by the federal government, by a federal government employee, where I'm getting my money from every month and shit, said to me, Mr. Holloway, if you dare get married and you inform us or don't inform us, either which way, you will lose all of your benefits, which means I have no right to marriage equality. In other words, I don't have a right to get married, which is also a eugenics policy in plain sight. When I told this female federal employee that, what that was, she said nothing for almost an entire minute because I laid it on her as what she was telling me was a eugenics policy in my ear. But they know that most of the population here in the United States doesn't know about that, doesn't know about eugenics. Because why? Because we're dumbed down. We're not told the truth about everything going on as we're living right now and back then.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's sad for guys that want to get married today, but you can't have that mentality at all today. You're going to get eaten alive by either, even she's from the West or she's definitely from a foreign country because she's coming here looking for a green card. No offense to them, but it is what it is. And you're going to get eaten alive. There's a guy in my unit that he's basically mildly autistic and he's from Australia. He's like all believes in Christianity, all the bullshit, right? So then he talking about he wants to get married and he let women play him for a fool. Then he just started saying, I'm screwed, I'm just gonna have sex. So he's just going around having sex with fat chicks and shit like that. And then he had one chick that he liked a lot, that she was not too fat. He liked her a lot, but she just got sick of his beta behavior, and kick him to the curb. Because if you act like if the man brings up commitment today, the woman, because today, if you're not savage with women today, they're gonna eat you alive. This nice guy, like nice guys and shit like that, they're eating alive.
Well, yeah. I've always been considered a nice guy, even by people here in the MRA movement. So don't feel too bad about it.
Unfortunately, that's more what Corey's talking about is more of exactly social engineering 101 in your face, okay? And people going with the wrong behavior. Okay, and these women have done just that. Okay, the foundations are all shattered. Okay, if we was to use the foundations in society in the dating arena to build a house, your house would collapse overnight. It wouldn't hold the weight. You might not even get it built before it collapsed. I mean, relationships take time. Okay, Love is real, but love you ain't gonna never find love in a world where love has been completely destroyed. Because all the foundations
love
that
is
lead to
considered
it.
weakness. Love is
Yes.
considered weakness.
Well, it's actually not weakness. Real love right now would actually stop what's going on in this world. Weakness is hate. Weakness is what these people in today's society represent.
Well, I agree with you. I'm just saying this is the elitist mindset that they teach their agents when they go around spreading their propaganda for the
Yep.
tool that they gave them. In other words, they consider love as weakness, not
Yes.
masculinity, but weakness.
Yep, exactly. And it's all meant to destroy, and that's exactly what it's doing. You know,
Basically, yeah, you can't walk around and be looking for marriage and looking for love or being a nice guy today, because nice guys don't, not only do they finish laughs, they probably don't even finish, because these women today are going to eat you alive and uh, use you, waste your time, and you'll be sitting there like the Forrest Gump movie.
Let
I
me tell.
understand what Corey's saying, and it's not that Corey's wrong about what he's saying, but the reality is, at the same token, if you go with what you have to have today's society to get a female, you're also not going to have any success in being with her. You're also going to freaking go through a divorce or a breakup or be paid child support, or there's going to be domestic abuse. A lot of bad things are going to happen because you don't know how to treat each other to begin with, and she's no exception to the rule. Think about girls' rights, what, Karen Stroud? When she had them other feminist pieces of you know what up on there. And she says, at that time, and that's been a few years ago now, but she made the statement on that live stream. She says straight up, 70, 80 years ago, 90% of the female and male population were hooked up. But in today's society, significant stands for high number. There's a significant number of men that are just outright not fuckable. Now, this is the woman who claims to be supporting men.
You mean not physically attractive, correct?
Yes, outright not fuckable. In other words, their hoe ain't wet.
Oh, well, let me tell you something from my personal experience. Okay, even though I know this is past booty call situations and shit. Yeah, there's lots of these women out here that say we don't like a nice guys. They don't make us sweat. They don't have enough money. This and that. But when you really break it down, they do like nice guys, and they really do get eaten out alive. If you know what I mean. They love that too.
Yeah, well, they don't mind it because they get their power trips off on hurting others.
Correct.
Especially if it's a guy, because their TV set taught them the whole life from the time they were little girls. Guys were villains, guys were rapists, guys beat women. Guys were everything vile, and that's what they know. Then they were taught in school from the time you were a little kid, the boy was sexually discriminated against because what they do? Oh, well, boys don't hit girls. There's no excuse to ever lay your hand on a female. So what you really did was discriminate against the boy based on his gender. And then when they got older, now the girl sees she can hit you because you can't hit her back.
Yeah, that's true.
And no gender ever wrong. If you're going to teach kids not to be hit, you teach kids not to be hitting each other. You don't teach a gender, don't hit a gender.
Yeah, why is it only one sided?
Well, because the primary victim's always been the man, not the female.
And with poor people, the elite don't care. They're with their molesting children and their concubines or whatever. Sometimes it's for poor men.
Yeah, well, see, the elite don't care, period, okay? They're the ones that done this to social engineering, okay? They don't care because it was deliberately done. You have to destroy the genders completely. They can't get their human 2.0 without doing that.
Everyone has to be a they.
Yeah. Everybody has to be a they, an it. You're no longer identified as a man or a woman. You might just be identified as a cyborg.
You can just pick your gender, whatever you want it to be.
Well, there's that too, right? Right? We got 100 and something genders now. Just in case you think your tractor's sexy, I guess if you think your tractor's sexy, guys, you might want to be a tractor, right? Or maybe you could
A
be
helicopter.
boring and you could just be a tree.
Or a helicopter.
Well, you could be that too, right?
Just whatever you want to be.
That's
you can
right.
be a bird. You can be a bird or a dog or a cat.
Identify with whatever you want to be and just call yourself it, right?
Yeah. You see that documentary, What is a Woman?
No.
Well, this he's one of these guys that's this right-wing guy, he's he's one of these conservative guys that potentially might be a racist, but he made this good documentary. You can just watch the documentary in a vacuum and just download it. And it's called What is a Woman, where he basically asks all these crazed, lunatics about that. There are all these gender fluid weirdos. What is a woman? And they basically can't give a definition. They said, what is a woman? Is anybody that identifies as a woman. Then he asked just an old white guy, what is a woman? And he's like, he just said, I'm a man because I got a dick, I guess, because he kept it simple. He's like, I don't care if you come in here and think you're a frog, don't put that shit on me. Because he owned a Star Wars Star Wars action figure store. And he's like, I don't care what people, as long as they buy my products, I don't care what they are, but just don't push it on me.
Yeah. I can understand that, but the reality is I guess the most important thing I can say for people is this. At this particular time, people need to put their differences to the side. Okay? And they got to stop playing games with each other and they got to realize what's really going on, because if they don't, you're not too far off of finding out that you're pretty hungry because there ain't no food. Matter of fact, speaking of that, see, Pam was listening to a news report yesterday morning. Okay, and it was new. And they talked about the upcoming food crisis. Okay, how in 2023 ketchup, tomato paste, pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, tomatoes, all of that's going to disappear off the shelves. Potatoes is going to disappear off the shelves. Okay, and the list went on and on and on. And all you had to do is pay attention over the last couple of years now, and you'll see that well over 100 food processing plants are gone. History. Okay, weather warfare has seen to it that many crops didn't make it. That's right, I said weather warfare. Because when they say climate change equals weather warfare.
That's all it is. They're probably controlling the weather with HARP and all that stuff.
They've been doing it. They've been controlling the weather since Nam. Now they have it down to an art. And
That's
so,
why it snowed
what do you
last
do?
year.
I mean, these people think these trails that are going across the sky from one side of the city to the other is the exhaust from a plane. Are you nuts? Just look up there and pay attention. And if you do that, you're going to see a jet go over. It ain't going to have no trail behind it at all. Then another jet will come along and on trail all across the sky. That's because they're spraying your heads. It's full of aluminum and barium. That's how they're going to carry their frequencies across the skies. Well, hello, Jana. Uh-huh. She's in the chat. She discovered I'm here.
Well, guys, it was good talking to you. I'm gonna go to sleep because I got up early this morning. So
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Okay, Corey. Well, it was nice having you aboard.
Yeah, it was nice talking to y'all. I'm gonna try to go on the next one too, and I'll be out, show my face. All right, man.
Okay,
All
guys.
right, take care, Corey. Thanks
All
for
right,
the chat. And
Yep.
yeah, thank you. All right, bye.
awesome discussion, Corey. On
Yes, Corey's a good guy. I like Corey.
and he's awake too, especially
Oh
in the
yeah.
dating scene.
He's awake to the agency, and he's awake to NWO, and he's just sort of outnumbered in over there in his troop that he's in right now. Yeah. He gets frustrated because he's got all these zombies surrounding him and, pawns, unfortunately. That's what your military is. It's nothing but useless pawns for political gain.
That's right. They're used by the military-industrial complex, which
Yep.
is, in other words, they're just useless. How do you say? Meat for the meat grinder.
Well, they are. They're there for these sick psychopaths at the top to get their wants. That's why it's so important for these people to get their heads out of there, you know what, and realize that they gotta stop complying. Oh, no, but they'll give up. Well, you know what? If the majority of the fucking military stands down at one time worldwide, guess what? They got no military. They can't court martial and throw them all behind bars. They have no military, right? Right. It's common sense. People just have to stop complying.
And who will be the main culprits at the top that's causing all of our misery, Bill? That would be the banksters, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be.
That control the monetary system, which is the Federal Reserve. Is that correct?
Yep.
Which is what's causing everything that's happening because of what? That tool, that money, which is causing all the evil and our misery.
And they didn't accidentally call money the root of all evil for no reason at all. It's not that the man-made construct money, the paper itself, is evil, because it's not. Okay? Or the metal coins? No, they're not evil. It's the people that you're allowing to own it. It was a Rothschild that made the statement that he don't care who the president, who the king, who the queen is. Have whatever person you want running your people. He don't care. Because, see, he owns the money. He owns the paper and ink that's printed on. And he gives his money to nobody. Although he will borrow you some of his money in return for your labor. Anybody recognize that labor, your job? Okay? And he will give you forgiveness for perishables. That means you don't got to pay him back for your food and your water or your drinks. Okay? But anything else that you should buy with his money, because he borrowed it to you in return for your labor. So anything else that you buy with his money belongs to him. Now let's think of what the World Economic Forum telling you that you will own nothing and be happy. There it is, right there in your face. I just wish people would understand how deep this goes. And they better understand that they're running out of time. And they said, well, no, you said that, blah, blah. Well, you're about to find out real quick, like, okay, you are running on a short stick. And by the time you realize it's happening, you ain't gonna turn it around. Just keep following your orders and watch what don't happen to all of us. Oh, Dwayne's typing away in there.
Yeah, I'm here. One of the live chatters is saying, Mr. Holloway, I think you are sabotaging yourself. There's always risk. Why not forget all this stuff and go for it? So what do you mean by I'm sabotaging myself?
Well, he'll have to get over sabotaging himself. He's making a call about people he don't know anything about to begin with, okay? I mean, you could tell him he's sabotaging himself. Don't plan the infighting. If they want to start fighting with you, I'll just remove them from the chat. It'll be that simple and they'll be gone.
Well, let's see, Dwayne, I think the best solution is to move to her country. That way you don't have to worry about the U.S. laws. Well, number one, and stuff, I'm homebound disabled, mostly bedridden now, so I won't be having to worry about going to her country or any other country. Next question.
Yeah. Well, you know what they left out of that?
Well,
Even if you wasn't, good luck getting to go live in another country and meet somebody in today's world. Good luck. I wish you good luck on that. They don't have no plans on letting you travel. Watch and see. Not only that, they keep leaving one major part out.
already have plans. Let's see. I just think you should find a way to make it work with the girl. I already have plans. I'm out to following through with it. Don't worry about it. They're coming here for me, so I'm not too much worried about that. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah. Well, the reality is, see, things are going to get really ugly, and you're going to have to stop worrying about this stuff and playing games amongst the dating scene and playing games with each other. I mean, you better get over it, okay? And it's, don't let the infighting start anything because, for all you know, this person's just trying to get the fighting going. They're trying to irk you to get you run off
I
again.
know what they're doing because you little agents out there, this is what you're doing from the beginning. This is how you cause the division and divide and conquer. Me and Bill, myself, have been telling you about just recently. You come in, you try to divert onto your deceptional tactics and stuff, your psyops, your campaigns to divide and conquer. That won't be working anymore. But
Yep.
I'm not afraid to answer your questions.
Yep. And Janie just brought up the movie The Purge, and she feels it's going to happen. So let me give you a little sea story about The Purge. Okay? The state of Illinois has passed a law that's very similar to The Purge. They sure did. It's happened this last year. Within this last year, they passed a law in the state of Illinois that's going to be very similar to The Purge, where people they're going to be released. There won't be no bail, and they'll be released. They won't be held, and they'll be there for crimes like murder and so on, okay? And then you have them starting 2023, they're opening a factory. And this factory is going to be cooking mealworms because that's your new flour, by the way. In case you want to buy a bag of flour and you want to cook some cookies or bake some things with flour, use flour like bread and so on. Well, flour is being replaced with mealworms for real. Okay? Yep. So this is what's really going on under your nose. I hope you like the idea of eating crickets, roaches, ants, mealworms, synthetic plants, lab grown meat. They got a whole diet of stuff lined up for you as they empty your shelves. And so what Jane mentioned about the purge would be absolutely correct. What do you think's going to happen when the food's gone off the fucking shelves? And you think that ain't going to happen? You better open your eyes. It's already started. And when you discover that we're not lying to you, and your food's not on the shelves no more, and you can't get no food, what do you think's going to happen? You think law enforcement's going to be here? No, 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 no. They're going to sit back and they're going to let you people hit the streets with your guns, and the real purge will begin. This is about population reduction.
Right now, they're teaching us on how to go. In other words, without going out more. Notice they're having. Let's see what we got. We got medicine shortages. We got baby milk formula shortages. They're training us to eat plants, synthetic plants, synthetic meats, gene splicing, all that. I mean, it's really crazy. These people.
It is. What's getting ready to come down is coming down within this next 12 months. You're getting ready to go into 2023 right now. And before you see the end of 2023, you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff that we're talking about right now playing out in your face. As they also set you up to go into World War III. And then to crash your dollar, they got the universal income sitting ready to go. But to get that universal income, you have to comply. That means you might want to get up to date on your jabs.
As for the purge, yeah, that's pretty much going on. That's started about 2 or 3 years ago, where I pointed out on Twitter on the former accounts that I had. I'm not saying which, but I've openly said if you don't stop the rise in the crime wave that's starting to rise across this country, you're going to have big problems in the very near future. And here we are today. So all the crime waves that's going on right now across the country in the United States is to desensitize the public to getting used to physical violence. In other words, people killing other people, stealing, shoplifting, everything out in the open. Hardly any security around, police around. People don't go to jail to serve their time for the crimes that they commit. In other words, cash on bail bonds and stuff, going easy on criminals that create different types of crime waves going across the country. So it's pretty much just out in the open. It's going to get much, much worse. It's by design, too.
Oh, yes. It's about to get really nasty. I mean, and these so-called power outages, you better remember the grid's not failing you. Okay? The power grid ain't failing you. Human beings are failing you. They're deliberately doing this. None of it's an accident. It's all deliberate. Every bit of it. But you better remember this. They want you to attack your government because they have your new government all lined up for you, called scientists and technocrats. Yeah, fake scientists and technocrats run by the same people who's running the government you have now. They'll hoodwink you, man. They'll pull the blanket over your face. Not that the governments ain't criminal order followers, because they are. But that's not where you start. You start with the bankers. Take the monetary system away from who currently owns it, worldwide. Then collapse your governments and hold all of these people accountable. It's the only way you're going to stop them. Anything short of that, you lose. So you got to realize we're too far along to say we can just not collapse it, because they're going to collapse your monetary system and give you digital, cashless society. And you can't accept that digital. That's a complete enslavement. You have to be willing to know that we got to hurt ourselves financially in order to get out of the financial pickle, because you allowed a bunch of psychopaths to own it. And the people of this planet can only blame themselves, because money is a man-made construct. I don't care if it's gold, I don't care if it's silver, it's all a man-made construct. Real wealth is shelter over your head and food and water. And clean water, not water like Dabu 7 was talking about, where they used electricity to clean the water. Yeah, they cleaned it all right. They took the hydrogen out of it. Now it's no good for you. That's the part of the clean that Dabu 7 didn't tell you. You know, and I hate to be that way, but the reality is the reality. You know, you're being set up. And you can either see through what's going on and do the right thing, or you're going to wind up perishing. And no, this is not survival of the fittest. That's eugenics talk.
Exactly. I'm just answering a live chat questioners' questions before I go right back to you, guy.
Yeah,
just one
no
moment,
problem.
please.
I'm watching. I didn't even go to my switchboard this time after last week. I just came over to the live stream. I'm right where you're at.
And you guys got to understand something that are listening to the show and that are going to be listening in the future when you listen to this rebroadcast later on. That's the reason why they hate Bill and myself and this TFL movement at the same time, because we actually have care. We never asked you guys for money, never asked you for a fucking thing when it came to that. What we do is from the heart, and just because it's our passion or our drive to fight what these elitists have done to our society when it comes to not only just in the dating scene, but as a society as a whole with that tool, that money, which made society evil to begin with, which is why people are mostly, not everybody, but mostly the majority of society in our world is that way, that has that evil mindset, is because their drive is the tool, the money, which is total control. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, that's it. You know, that's the main thing right now is control. Okay, and they've been telling you. People don't realize they've got all these low-lying satellites up there, and they can look down and read pack cigarettes in your front shirt pocket. And they got so many up there now that they can put their frequency global. They can watch you, everybody. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, but the digital ID, the digital currency, the smart grid are all intertwined. This is your digital prison. That's what they're setting up, is your digital prison. You won't be able to step out your front door without them knowing you stepped out your front door. You think that's impossible? No, it's not. The technology is already in place. So you know it's gonna get really ugly. It really is. You know, I would love to have been able to do more to stop it, but you know, when your message keeps falling on deaf ears, it just discourages you from why are you trying to help a bunch of zombies? Well, probably because I have real care, and you'd hope that one day they would actually start looking around them and seeing what's going on and realize you've never been lying to them. Because that's the one thing I didn't come up here and do is bullshit you and lie to you.
Just got this drive, Bill. I mean, I'm tired of what happened when it came to the mainstream media. The propaganda I've seen in the past 1 to 2 something years just upsets me to no end, to where it's not that they're getting on my nerves. I mean, of course, they've done it at times and stuff, but they're paid to do that. You know, you got all these different media outlets all throughout the United States. They're all in it together for the tool. They're agents. They're selected to be there on TV to lie to your faces. They disseminate disinformation and propaganda. When you guys get a chance, I want you to look up an individual online. I want you to look up somebody called John R. Stockwell. Last name spelled Stockwell. He's a former CIA officer. He went to countries in the past, I think in the 60s and 70s. He was also a former Vietnam veteran. He was recruited into the CIA. He's been to countries such as Anglo, I think Nicaragua, and a couple of other countries. His job, his expertise was to go to these countries and disseminate disinformation and propaganda to confuse opposition, to destabilize the regions, all for who? That's correct. The Central Intelligence Agency. That was created, what, Bill? What was it, 1949, 1953?
Yep.
And ever since then, doing what they've been doing until this day and age right now, 2022.
And have relocated themselves to Denver, Colorado. They're no longer in Langley, Virginia.
Oh yeah, you told me that they moved their operations, one of their special operations branches, to Colorado region.
Yes. That will be the home of your new leaders, the technocrat and scientists. They'll be out of Colorado. They won't be out of District of Columbia no more. Part of the Great Reset, by the way. Understand the Great Reset is nothing more than Agenda 21, 2030. Okay, and somebody in here earlier in the chat told you had about 7 years left. Well, the question mark is, do you got 7 years left? I guess that might depend on where on the planet you are, huh? Well, I know where I sit. I sit in the middle of Great Rome Part 2. And I know if you're in this place they call America, you're in Great Rome Part 2.
Mhm.
It don't have to be that, but it's going to be that if you don't understand what I'm telling you. It's non-compliance all the way across the board. Don't worry about your consequences. Well, what's going to happen to me if I don't listen? Okay? Well, I can tell you what's going to happen to you if you do listen. You're not going to be around to know it because you're going to end up dead. What's your chances of living when they want to reduce the population of America by itself by 70% by 2025? And if they was to get that done, can you figure out how much 70% would be in the United States? How many people that would mean would have to die? You think they can't get it done? I bet they can. Just keep turning your head and following your orders and watch and see if they don't.
Hey, Bill, also while we're on the subject, before I forget it, now one of the live chatters was talking about the discussion. Misogynistic, how do you say, misogynistic terror attacks, and how they like to portray incel and these other government psyops to try to destroy TFL, the True Force Loneliness Movement.
Well, that's what incel is all about, because you got your agent, okay, man flinging turds, which is propaganda. In other words, turd flinging monkey. Now, remember I said it upside down in reverse? If you read turd flinging monkey's name in reverse, it's monkey, which stands for man. Flinging turds, which stands for lies, bullshit, propaganda. He's the guy that did the professional graph in the manosphere. He's the guy that, well, took a leak, created a name called Incel, and put TFL into it. He broke the manosphere down in categories, and he took Incel / TFL. Incel came from a university in Canada by a female. Why? Because it was deliberate, and it went across the globe. Matter of fact, what was the last year they had a report in Germany, and it was brand new at the time it was shared with me, and it was on the mainstream media. And these women were talking about the incel guys and how dangerous incel guys are to women. And that was in Germany. Well, that makes you guys, all of you guys in here that claim to be TFL or incel, see, you're dangerous to society according to these people. The very people that put you into this position to begin with are calling you the danger, when in reality, they're the danger. Just like the misinformation. The only misinformation out there is coming from the people on your TV set.
In other words, what they're trying to do with these misogynistic terror attacks, like the famous, what was it, Bill? Elliot Rodger scenario, I believe, years ago. So what they do is when they have a misogynistic terror attack going around somewhere, usually mostly in the United States back then, it was to scare you TFLers from joining or going anywhere near this TFL True Force Loneliness movement, and to shame you at the same time, those of you who are living it and suffering from what's going on here in the dating scene.
That's
It
what
was
it
to
was
scare you, keep you
That's
away
what it
from.
was about. I mean,
It was to keep you away from us.
The reality is when I came on scene with TFL and I started connecting it to NWO, okay, we became a very real danger to them. That's why they wasted no time coming at me when they got YouTube in their hands. I just know a lot of stuff's getting ready to come down, and people better be. And I don't know how to tell you to be ready. The only thing you can do is be as ready as you can be, and understand that it's going to get really ugly.
Oh man, I'm not even that. Me and my condition. I'm telling you, I'm just. It's not good news. But oh well. At least I can say in the future, when we all hear it from these broadcasts, and in the future broadcasts, you can at least say, well, I came back, I tried to do what was right, to try to go after these banksters that caused all this, and to set things straight. And just to do what was right. I tried my best. That's all I could do. That's all I could say.
Well, you
I
know,
tried.
all we can do is freaking do what we're doing, you know, and so, and you want to remember that we're not going to be up here every week doing a live stream, so don't get used to it. Okay. Okay. You might want to, after tonight's show, you might want to consider looking up True Force Loneliness on Odyssey because that's the only spot you're going to be hearing anything from us. Okay. It won't be happening here on YouTube. Okay. So don't be getting no hurry for me to schedule another show next week because it ain't going to happen. And I'm not trying to be mean, but the reality is the reality.
Let's see here.
Yeah, Elliot Rogers was an actor. He ain't dead. That was all an act. Every bit of it. Then, of course, he became the idol for the elite created name called Incel.
Let's see. Internet. Let's see. There were pictures of him floating around the internet with a different name and new hairstyle. He's now blonde. Last pic that surfaced about him. Damn. Can't wait to find out later.
Oh, Elliot Rogers?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's what Semi said.
I'm sure. He's never been dead. He was an actor. He pulled the freaking blanket right over your face for the tool.
Yeah, he's on IMDb. Let me see here. Let me go to it and check this out here. That's what he's described as over there, which I'm about to go pull that up. Let's see, Roger. That over here. 2004 Isla Vista killings on the evening of May 23rd. 22-year-old Elliot Rodger killed 6 people and injured 14 others by gunshot, stabbing, and vehicle ramming. Let's see, cause of death, suicide by self-inflicted gunshot, supposedly died, May 23rd, 2014 at age 22, Isla Vista, California.
That's when the actor died, not him himself, just the role he was playing. You know, that was a script. It was an actor. You got his actor name. They just killed the actor off, not the actual human being playing the act.
Correct, which is it says here under other names, the Supreme Gentleman or Saint Elliot by incels. Continue.
Yep, there you go. Let's see, you know, and so many people fell for that hook, line, and sinker because, you know, they know their TV would never lie to them, right?
I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, with the truth here, what Bill's saying to you, the TV's lying to you. They're lying to you in the media. They're all hooked in together. They're all part of the same clique. They feed you the same disinformation. They tell you the truth. No, they don't tell you the truth. They're lying to your face every single day, every single night, all day, all night, all year. It's as simple as that. Go ahead, Bill.
That's exactly right. That's what you get off your TV set. And if you ain't careful, that's what you get off the computer, too. You're surrounded by BS. You got to understand and know what's going on in order to be able to see it going on.
Let's see here, internet movie. Let's see, Elliot Rodger. Let's see what that brings me up to. It says here on IMDb, which is the internet movie database, Elliot Rodger, 1991 to 2014, camera and electrical department. Elliot Rodger was born on July 24th, 1991 in Lambeth, London, England, United Kingdom. He is known for The Fifth Estate, 1976, and Daniel T. Gaming, 2016. He died on 23rd May 2014 in Isla Vista, California, USA. Oh, right here. It says, let's see, camera and electrical department. Previous one, The Virgin Killer. Camera vlog footage, uncredited TV movie 2014. The Virgin Killer. Yeah. See what they did right there?
Yeah.
The Virgin Killer. Get it? The Virgin Killer.
Yep, that's right. They sort of used great wording with that, didn't they?
Propaganda. disinformation,
Yep,
and social engineering right there. Just in that one sentence.
it is. The virgin killer.
Correct. So in other words, you're having sex with a woman, you become part of the incel community and shit. You're known to hate women because they won't have sex with you or you won't have sex with them. Either which way. So you go out and kill women for all your dating scene problems and shit. You go kill women, your opposite sex, and there you go. Then the media that deciphers propaganda, disinformation, lies to you every day says you're part of the incel community. You hate women, this and that, and they try to use that to bring down the TFL and try to associate with those incidences to bring down the TFL True Force Loneliness movement. That's how they do that, to destroy it.
Well, that's,
bring it down.
the problem with TFL is it hovered over real truths, and they knew it, okay? And of course, you can't have something that's grassroots that goes around the world the way this did, right? And they'd be hovering over one of their fucking major psyops. So, the only real threat to the elite at that time was us. Okay, and anybody else that comes close to the elite or becomes a threat to the elite, they managed to remove them, okay? Certain people did, like Michael Jackson, David Carradine. Yeah, the both of them, well, they had a reason to remove him, didn't they? It's just right now, I mean, we're at a very bad time. Yeah, I see that we went quiet in here, huh? Okay, coordinate still alive. Just making sure. Okay, now everybody talk at once here. Okay, Dwayne.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I'm making sure, man. Everything went quiet.
Oh, no wonder I have my damn microphone on mute. Oh, my fault, ladies and gentlemen. In other words, right here, because Alex said down here in the live chat, Dwayne, men are being shamed for not having sex and being a virgin. And then I said, Alex, yes, Alex, I have a virgin Filipino for a girlfriend. I'm not shaming her. I think that's beautiful. I think that's special. I'm not going to shame her for that. If you like somebody or you love somebody, you like them and love them, like Bill said, for who they are, not for what you want to make them or change them to be.
No. I mean,
Period.
that's
End of
one of the
story.
major mistakes that's done in society, but it's been deliberately done. None of it was an accident. We smash up the foundation of what leads to a successful relationship that leads to love. We smash and break it up because we don't want that. We make everybody mad at each other. We get everybody fighting each other. And when it comes to TFL, we had to get the main characters, the main people of TFL fighting each other. So we could destroy it from the inside. And I'm sure they're not going to like it over on Odyssey.
So what do you guys plan on doing later on in the next 30 minutes down there in the live chat? You guys going to go out, get smashed, get ready for the 2023? Exactly. I agree with Bart Eater on that. There are a lot of Filipino girls that are virgins here. They value family and children. That's true. It's just too bad that most of the guys that sleep with these Filipinas, they get them pregnant and then they decide to run away. Now that they left their, how do you say, they sold their royal oats and placed their seed into these Filipinas, just to leave them to be single mothers and run away and not raise their kids.
That's happened to a lot of women over there.
Yep, especially over here in America.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's part of the problem that the elite wanted, which is the breakup of the family unit. No care of how we raise the next generation or our kids and break up the family unit.
Well,
See?
that's because they don't want you raising your own kids. Well, that's cool. At least she's growing up. And he's 53, huh? Okay.
Yeah, most Americans and stuff have a pretty big get pissed off at the age gap.
Yeah.
He said, Alex says, Shogun Gamer, foreign women from Ukraine, Russia, Philippines, and Mexican or Mexico women are better wives. I have to say, from what I've read, what I researched on that, I have to say pretty much you're accurate on that statement. Because this Western society is so screwed up over here when it comes to the dating scene. Women are, majority of the women and the guys around this country are just, they're too far gone mentally. I mean, they're just totally brainwashed. Culture's screwed up. Family units are screwed up. I mean, you got you women out here thinking, nice guys are bad or weak or this and that. We shouldn't be allowed to procreate, which falls right into the eugenics propaganda and the psyops you all fell for.
It does.
And John R. Stockwell even said, a former CIA officer said, he knows there's big names in the business of mainstream media. And he also said this on interviews. He was on C-SPAN. He went to universities to speak until suddenly after, I guess, a little ways after the mid-90s and stuff, he stopped speaking out and doing this and that. But he exposed the CIA's, his former bosses and the going-ons of the Central Intelligence Agencies big time when it came to disseminating disinformation. And he said big names in the business of mainstream media, big names in the business of the media are out here purposely lying for the United States, the corrupted United States federal government, to disseminate live-time propaganda to the American people to control and to manipulate our minds every single day. Not to tell you the truth, but to lie to you and to control our minds. That was a quote by the man himself, who was a former CIA officer in the CIA.
Well,
continue.
That's all truth. Every last bit of that is all truth. The best thing people could do is shut their damn TV set off. Don't get your news from television.
And I say, and this man is still alive, well, pretty much today, but he's in his 80s. But I'm not going to say where he is. It's public knowledge where he's still residing. But I'm just wondering why pretty much he won't speak out no more. My guess is they either try to destroy his life or he just got to a point, like you said, Bill, to where it's just, I keep speaking out, but nothing's getting done. So what the hell?
Well, that's what it comes down to. You get to the point where you keep speaking, and everybody just wants to keep turning their head and going on and thinking it's all a game. Okay, you get to the point you realize that you cannot save people who ain't willing to save themselves. And you're not going to get people to stand together when they'd rather be fighting each other. And if you're going to keep that mentality up, then you've already lost. And you're going to drag a lot of innocent people down with your dumb ass because that's what ignorance is. Ignorance is bliss and it don't discriminate. It won't care because the reality is people need to understand this. We all need each other. Because, see, without each other, none of you could be online tonight in this live stream typing right now.
Exactly. In other words, it all comes down to those saying, together we're strong. Far apart, away from each other, divided up and conquered, we're weak. It's as simple as that. And that's the way the elite wants us.
You know, and the reality is the elite are only the elite because you follow what they tell you to do.
And then after the show, you'll probably have some agents that are probably listening to the show or are going to be later listening to this, the re-edited broadcast of this podcast tonight. And they're going to go right back to their scripts, going to go back to the people that warning their audience from their channels, their videos, and their live streams. Don't listen to these weirdo guys on TFL, True Force Loneliness. Stay far away as you can away from these weirdos. They're telling you lies. They're telling you conspiracy theorists. They're telling you, training you to be helpless, mentally weak, not masculine, this and that, all to get you away from them, from us, and what we're trying to tell you and explain to you what's going on here to get them over to there and your money in their coffers, because that's really all it comes down to when it comes to that. You're just nothing but money to them, a money cow, as they say in marketing.
Well, of course, then we're going to use it like we are Twitter and stuff so we can data mine to continue the programming, the algorithm, and AI. Because after all, they plan on AI being your total controller.
Alex says TFL is back like the good old times, like it is back in 2011, 2012. And we're planning on keeping it rolling this time, too, all the way to the end, whatever end that's going to be coming. Yeah, like Bill says, you either go on your feet or on your knees, which you want it.
Yep. But they're going to have to understand they have to go to Odyssey because it won't survive here.
Nope, it won't. But let's just say over on Odyssey, odyssee.com/@ True Force Loneliness is where you find the True Force Loneliness channel. It's a premium channel, good for a whole year. Paid about 30, what was it, Bill? $38-something earlier this morning. That's the investment. And let's see, I could create 3-something channels. It's already got one of them up, which is trueforceloneliness.com. I'll think about the other two for later on in the future, but I'll leave those blank for now. But the TFL website, www.trueforceloneliness.com, will be up and running again next month, February 2023. And everything is going to be coming back smooth, sharper, and fiercer than ever. So for all you TFLers that are out there globally listening to this podcast or later on of this podcast, get the crew back. Go to who you know, who you remember. Tell them TFL's back, and we're not stopping. We're going all the way this time. And those who are holding responsible for TFL True Force Loneliness being here, for all of our miseries in the dating scene and whatnot, well, that's the bankers. Until the bankers are stopped, well, it's just going to keep going till whatever end comes, and it's coming quick.
Yeah.
You got to take the bankers out of power.
It is, because it don't matter where on this planet you're at right now. You're going to be affected by this. Doesn't matter. I mean, this guy's over in the Philippines. Okay, but is he safe over there? No, he's not.
No. Philippines is just corrupted as over here in the United States and in other countries.
I mean, this is the world agenda. This is a worldwide agenda. It's not called NWO for no reason at all.
It's called the total breakdown of a global society.
It is.
In the global government. That's as simple as that. That's all I can tell you. It fits in with Agenda 21, fits in with the climate change agenda, propaganda, the pandemics that's going on right now. Everything.
Well, you know, the whole thing is, reality is the governments are not fighting one another. What you see going on right now with Russia's the bad guy in Ukraine and blah, 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 they're not fighting one another. They're lying to the public and pitting the people against the people.
Yes, exactly right, Bill. You just brought up a good one, because back in, I think it was 2015, 2018, the United States Congress banned Ukraine's neo-Nazi Azov Battalion, a far-right pre-military Nazi organization, paramilitary group, from receiving any more funding from us here in the United States. That was 2015, 2018. That was mostly by 40 or so Democrats that wanted that legislation into place. They got it. And they banned Ukraine's Azov Battalion from receiving any more funding from the United States. Now, fast forward a few years later, we're now in 2022, going into 2023 very soon. And what are we still doing to this day, ladies and gentlemen, with the multi-billions that's Biden sending over there? We're still funding a terrorist group in Ukraine openly.
No, not just,
So, which means
yep.
the United States of America is a terrorist state. We're supporting terrorists, period. End of story.
You know, and it even goes deeper than that. I mean, because the reality is when you get right down to it, okay? Just think about this. We have tons of oil on our own land. We stopped pumping our own oil literally almost 20 years ago. We've been barely printing our own oil. And when Biden came into office, see, we were getting our oil from Russia, but we didn't need Russia's oil. We got our own, but we're getting it from Russia. Biden comes into office and follows the script that he's told to follow because he's nothing more than a puppet and actor, okay?
Correct.
And what did he do? He put sanctions against Russia. Why? Oh no, we're not getting no more oil from Russia. Oh no, we're running out of oil when we're not. Oh no, we ain't got our fertilizer for our farms because of the war in Ukraine with Russia. Okay? And yesterday I seen this propaganda report that they're talking about, oh, the United States is talking about assassinating Putin. Okay? They're not assassinating one another. They're all actors. They're laughing at you.
In other words, what I've read, what I've heard, the sanctions pretty much backfired against Vladimir Putin in Russia.
Well, the sanctions were never real. The sanctions were to hurt the U.S. people, period. That's what the sanctions were about, was hurting the Americans. Because
Correct.
we're the targeted country.
So in other words, the inflation, which I warned everybody about before the supply crisis happened last year on Twitter, I said there's a manufactured economic crisis coming. So in other words, it's all about devaluing the purchase power of the dollar, destroying the U.S. dollar, so they'll get us onto their digital currency system globally.
Well, they want the digital currency, okay? That's, you know, and as far as the resources, no, there is no shortage of resources. Okay? There is none. It's all a lie. That's why people need to shut their damn TV off.
Well, I started just recently, starting last 3 to 4 days, just started to feel pretty good without it.
You know, but that's the reality, because your TV is going to do nothing but lie to you over and over and over and over again. Your mainstream newspapers, your mainstream radio is going to do the same thing to you. They're all controlled. You know, and the reality is you're run by a bunch of super psychopaths. That is the reality, because we sat back and allowed it to happen. And I don't know how to get it through people's heads. You know, I tried really hard in 2020 to get people to see it. But they don't want to pay attention to what's going on around them, and think, oh, that's happening in the United Kingdom, or that's happening in Australia, that's happening in Germany. It ain't gonna happen here. Wrong.
Yeah, that's what the elite loves. They love it to where they make you think that you're safe one place when you really actually are not. They control everything. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. See, they don't have borders. They don't plan on borders. What they do plan on doing, they're going to get by with if you don't understand what's being said to you and stop complying and stop fighting one another.
Oh, you mean like the destruction of our borders down there on the U.S. southern border by design?
Oh yeah, well of course.
42. Yeah. So in other words, they can get us acclimated to having military on our streets. That's what they're doing through all these emergencies with the weather. If you guys notice. They were
Yeah.
total bedlam. America is over with. America is going to go down. America is destined to be a third world country, and we're on the way to it right now as we speak.
Well, you know, I see my last comment up here asking we remember about somebody calling in the Jason Berman show on Alex Jones and plugging TFL in. Yeah, I still have that recording. But let me give you a little sea story about Jason Berman. He lives less than 40 miles away from me. He lives in Bettendorf, Iowa. Okay? He's listening. I could be at Jason Berman's fucking door if I had the address in less than fucking 45, 50 minutes. I'd be sitting at his front door, okay? And the reality is Jason Berman isn't a good guy. Jason Berman is part of the establishment. And you know, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, okay? These people are part of the establishment for the tool. All that matters to them is that damn money.
And they're also there to social conditioning and make sure you stay confused out there.
Oh, exactly. You know, Jason Berman has his live streams over on Rockfin. And one day I was looking at his freaking, he was live streaming on Rockfin, okay, when he started going down the chat box, like right here, right now, that Dwayne's been typing and talking to right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going from the top down, reading every single comment and answering it. And then he got to the guy that had brought up Kerry Mullis's name. And he read the comment and then didn't answer him. Went to the next, read it and answered. Next, read it and answered. Why didn't he answer to Kerry Mullis? Well, because Jason Berman was telling you the pandemic was real, when he knows it's not. See, you got to keep the lie alive.
So people would believe it and go along with it.
Exactly. Jason Berman is not a good person. He's playing a script for money and knows full well what the results are going to be and don't care.
Don't you guys, ladies out here, understand when it comes to the TFL True Force Loneliness movement, they got agents all over the place throughout social media, not just on this platform, but all throughout big tech. Any social media site that's out there, agents are everywhere, all over the place, playing their part for the tool to keep social engineering going, to keep people confused, to keep the family unit broken up, to keep propaganda of gender wars of division between men and women going. And then they're doing it for the money. The money at
Exactly.
the top. Who controls the money? The banksters.
You know, Adam and I were talking, and Adam's fucking, I have to agree with Adam. Okay, Adam used to call into the radio show many years back. And Adam lives in Japan now. He's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay? Well, Adam and I were talking, and Adam said, and I have to agree with him. He said, worldwide, we got about 5.5 million employees of the establishment online every single day, watching people every single day.
And they sure do watch, don't they, Bill?
Yep, they watch. They got every keystroke you ever make. They watch
Especially
everything you do. They archive everything you do.
Especially on TV, especially when it comes to monitoring me, my Facebook Messenger chats, my Twitter DMs. They do it also in the open, in the background. They just watch and just don't say nothing to you from their live media outlets on TV. Fox, let's see here, Fox News, Fox Business, HLN, CNBC, MSNBC, CNN, Sports Center, ESPN, ESPN2, certain podcasts, radio broadcasts throughout the country, locally here in Albany, New York, and shit, all know exactly who I am, but they refuse to say anything because Bill and myself have gone off with something that should not have been. You understand?
Yeah.
They know what my family buys. In other words, let's just say, for instance, my brother has my debit card. My older brother that lives here with us and shit, that works. Very hard worker, by the way. good person. So I give him my debit card. So if I need something here at home, since I can't go out because I'm sick and homebound disabled, mostly bedbound now, he'll go out to somewhere and buy something for me using my what? My debit card. So whenever he swipes that card somewhere, guess what? They're all going to know about it back over at their media outlets and stuff. Exactly what I bought, what my family bought that day with that card. That's tracked and traced. Total control. And then they'll send a cryptic message back at me personally without their audience knowing who they're directing their messages at in the open and shit. And they'll say something that only I know that my family bought for myself to have. Right back at me on live television.
Well, the thing
yes,
everything's a weapon against you. From your smartphone to your computer to your refrigerator, your smart refrigerator, your smart appliances, everything's a weapon against you. And people are going to find that out because they can see your smart washer and dryer, refrigerator, stove, your smart meter. They all communicate with each other, including the light bulbs. Because after all, we got to watch your global footprint, right? We got to watch your CO2, your carbon footprint, right? You might be using too much electricity this month, or we might decide that, well, for 4 hours every day, we're shutting your refrigerator off. And you think that's not possible? They're already doing it. See, smart's not your friend. Smart's military-grade weapon. They didn't give us anything with intentions for your entertainment. It was sold to you for entertainment purposes, but it was never about entertainment.
Well, we know that they're messing with our number, Greg. We know that they're messing with our numbers. They've been doing it with our video view counts, our subscribers, our comments, our search engine rankings, algorithms. We know exactly what they've done. That's the reasoning for purchasing up YouTube. We believe, Bill and myself believes, really because of what TFL was here for from the get-go. We're becoming too global, too famous. Our videos were going off the charts through the roof and video view counts and stuff before Google came in to buy YouTube. So they was like, no, can't have this. So the Rothschilds and all the banksters at the top are saying, we got to stop this movement at all costs. They're moving in on our social engineering. They're disrupting our businesses for propagandizing, to keep the propaganda war between men and women going. They're in total PSYOPs campaigns here on this platform alone. So they asked Google, go in and buy up YouTube, throw as much money as they wanted at them. And guess what? The former owners of YouTube took that bait, took the money, gave it the right to Google, and now Google owns YouTube. And since Google owned YouTube, locked down everything and hit us and got rid of TFL that way too, and hide it from the public globally to stop us.
See, if you could bring the genders back together again, you could mess up 70 years of social engineering on them. You can't allow the divide to continue. You have to stop the divide. And I don't know how to get people to do that.
It's just it. We can, as the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink it.
Yeah, that's correct. You can lead it to water, but you can't make them drink it. You can't just wake somebody up. They got to have an open mind and be willing to look.
And research and take it seriously and understand the seriousness and the concerns we have trying to put this information out there so you can soak up this information and do something about it. In other words, take our words and put it into a form of action. But also at the same time, you got to be careful because the agents are also out here to try to get us into legalized trap. to put us in jail or prison. You know what I'm saying, Bill?
Uh-huh.
Like when it comes to, for instance, Capitol Hill riots. You understand what we're saying here?
Yeah. Capitol Hill riots. All a joke, all a ruse. But the people
Capitol
that
Hill
followed
riots was
Antifa,
allowed to happen.
yes. That was a psyop. It was allowed to happen. And the people who followed a sheriff's department escorted Antifa. It was actually caught on video, the sheriff's department escorting 3 buses. And on them buses were Antifa. And then a guard opened the door to the White House to let him in. And it was the people that were not part of Antifa that followed him in. And them are the people they went after.
That's right.
You were set up.
Set up by who? These agents that are out here looking to set you guys up just for listening to us. That's why they're around studying us as well as they're studying you. They're looking for any flaws and any weakness to try to break up this movement again. They're going to do it. That's how they work. They work as a team, as a community, as a networking ring of corruption, of agents. You guys get where I'm going here? Down here in the chat? You have to look past that. You cannot let them break us up by falling for the propaganda and stuff and saying staying away from us at the same time. You got to look past their propaganda and keep moving forward.
Yeah, well, I think I know who you're talking about, Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I heard of him. I know him.
Yeah.
Don't know him personally, but I've seen him a few times online in the past week or so.
Mm-hmm. Well, MGTOW, the majority of MGTOWers, majority, not all, but the majority of MGTOWers are nothing more than TFLers in denial.
Correct. In other words, it's another, how do I call it, psyop for separation of, how do you say?
Well,
Men,
MGTOW, when
guys.
Barbarossa first created it, would have been a good idea, but they destroyed it. Why do you think mainstream media got their hands on MGTOW? And this is when Pump and them came along, which furtherly divides the genders.
And breaks up the family unit without a father figure in the home.
Yep, that's what that was about. Why do you think they hijacked MGTOW? They had trouble hijacking TFL, so they started attacking the members to get the members to fight each other.
Correct. Which then spills over into the TFL, True Force Loneliness movement.
Yeah.
Like a wildfire.
And some of your divide and conquer tactics, that's one of the ways they messed up TFL, was by causing infighting.
Division.
Yep. No, the Philippines still have good morals over there.
Yes, they do.
And that's the only reason I was against American men going over there to pump and dump and leave. Because you were going to take the social engineering from the West to the Philippines and destroy their society.
That's what the bankers want.
And that's what that was all about, was destroying the Philippines society.
Oh,
over there, they actually really had real family values. Okay? They had morals. Families stuck together.
They were happy when families together.
Yes.
speaking of family planning, Ecto Life, Bill.
Oh, there you go. Well, go ahead and tell them about it, Dwayne.
Ecto Life. Babies being synthetically born in tubes now. In other words, technology is taking over to where you don't need women giving birth anymore. In other words, the technology is upgraded to where artificial wombs are created to create children now,
But
which means to me. Go ahead, Bill.
It's being controlled, though.
Correct.
That's why I said no gender society, no more parents, no more girlfriend, boyfriend, no more husband and wife. This is exactly what their plans are. This is how TFL became to be to begin with. It's because of these parasites.
Greg says, when I see a MGTOW with a sex doll, I just laugh and say to myself, what the fuck? This has really become sad.
Well, it's even sadder is when you watch a guy from the United Kingdom be talking about MGTOW and incel, and he can't wait to get his own sex bot with an artificial womb so he can create his own child. And then you fall under your chair laughing. This clown actually believed he was going to come with an artificial womb and a robot was going to give him a baby.
Sorry, I got to put myself on mute.
And to me, it's like, wow, you're talking, there ain't one act of brain cell in that man's head on duty.
Happy New Year, Dwayne.
Ah, it is, yes. So Pam says, Happy New Year, Dwayne.
The ball just dropped.
The ball just dropped, did it?
Yeah. No, what happened is what you were saying was just hilarious. I had to mute it for a moment. But it's true what you're saying. But I just had to, I'm sorry, I had to get something out. The crap we go through, we gotta laugh sometimes. So now they got artificial wombs called Ecto Life. In other words, where they create engineered synthetic babies now. So in other words, women no longer have to bear children, but technology can bear the children for us. In other words, but to the elite, those are slaves. And plus in the future, they'll be able to colonize different planets for space travel and to colonize different planets with this technology, create slaves.
And this is what they talk about. Yes, that is in their is in their stuff. But I have to wait and see. That's a wait and see thing. But just the same, there's a whole lot more evil that has to be stopped, so they can't even get there.
And who's doing it? Once again, it leads right back to the banksters, the money.
It does. All of it does.
The banking cartels. What was it, Bill? The 13 families of the banking industry?
Yep. See, everything's connected together. You think the governments are separate? You think the Food and Drug Administration? I just call them the Fraud and Death Administration, because that's really what they are. Okay. Then you got the WHO. Then you got CDC, who's all created and owned by the Rockefellers. Oh shit, that's bankers again. Dang it.
Oh, you mean the World Health Organization, the Center for Disease Control, and the World Economic Forum.
Yep. All of it was put together by the same people, man. When you start connecting the dots, it always goes back to the same people worldwide.
The current director of the CDC she also believes in modern day eugenics, by the way.
Well, of course she does. When you got a banker's, you know what, in your mouth, of course you do. And of course she thinks she's rising above. She's better than you. She has more of a man-made construct.
Or she's smarter than you.
Okay, hold on a second here. Okay, we got somebody coming in here. Well, hello, Dave.
Hey, Bill. How you doing? Hey, Dwayne. Happy New Year.
Hey, hi, Dave. How you doing? Happy New Year's to you too.
Hey, thanks. Just listening. I've been listening to you guys for a little while. Just been enjoying my New Year's Eve here, I guess, and just working on my cartoon sketches, and another year down, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have much to look forward to, this year coming up.
No, we don't. You know, even yesterday, Pam played a video. It was a new news report that was out, and it was on the food shortage. They gave a whole list of shit that they can expect to see not on the shelf coming 2023.
Yeah, you can tell they were already, creating drills and stuff like that. I mean, I actually lost my power today twice. All right, there's nothing going on up. We had there was no weather event up here. There was calm wind. We had winds of about maybe 5 miles an hour, and it almost seems like it was done on purpose. Like it's almost like they're practicing power outages.
Well, they are. They're planning rolling power outages and are deliberately doing it. There's nothing wrong with the power grid. But they can lie to you and tell you that the power grid's failing.
Yeah. I mean, even though it was only out for about 5 minutes or so, but it's just I've been noticing that a little bit lately. For some reason we're just the power's been going out a little easier than usual. But Bill, last time I talked to you, it's just been kind of a hectic week, but not last week when we were on the Saturday Night Live, but right after I got off the phone with you, I got a call from my dad, and my brother-in-law suffered a ruptured brain aneurysm and almost died.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he has been that's the thing, and he's been like vaccinated, he's been boosted and all this other stuff, and yeah, I just don't like this, and I'm just trying to get the word out to people, stay away from these things.
Yeah.
These things are bad news.
Yeah, the jab's no good for nobody.
Yeah, and he's in rough shape. I mean, the doctors say he should make a full recovery, and I hope, but he's having a really tough go at it. He came pretty close to dying. He's very lucky he caught that when he did, and he was taken to the hospital right away. It saved his life for sure.
So he had a brain aneurysm, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly did.
Yeah, that's nothing to mess around with. It'll take you out real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I was in 7th grade, one of my teachers, he had one of those. He died right in front of the class. When I was just like 12 years old. But yeah, we had no idea what happened to him at first. We thought he had fainted, but come to find out a couple of days later, that's what it was. We found out it was a brain aneurysm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I've known a couple different people who's had brain aneurysms, and then my son's mother's sister had a brain aneurysm.
Everything is it's still the same. It's nothing's changed in
Have you approached women in the past? Have you like actually talked with them, or did they ever talk to you?
Oh yeah. I've approached them in the past, and they've approached me. But in recent years, it's just I just don't think women are very interested in the dating scene anymore. They've just become so unbelievably picky. It's like I feel like the more I accomplish in life, the further and further the goalposts keep getting moved away from me. We kind of discussed this last week. You're taught that you're taught to accomplish all these things with your career, and get a nice house and all the other stuff, dress up nice and present yourself in a nice way and take pride in yourself, and you're told that women will react to you better. But
just like when it comes to the corrupted legal system here in the United States, right?
Italian cologne and wear the expensive watches. And
Yeah, back then for me
Yeah,
it was Old Spice, and
Yeah.
it was that I think it was that Axe spray.
yeah, yeah.
Man, used to get on girls' nostrils and stuff when I was back during the parties. Like, damn, somebody used too much of that shit. I'm like, well, I got to dress real spicy, you know. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
spicy.
Oh, that's it. Well, I'm sure that the chats noticed that they lost us temporarily, came back, and then lost us again and came back. They're messing with the connection to the show now.
Oh no!
But
we
yeah,
were starting to get good.
Yeah. But Dwayne, yeah, I've definitely I've had women approach me in the past, and I've only had a couple of girls give me their phone number. I mean, it doesn't happen very often. It hasn't happened very often. It's been very seldom. But when they do, it's like, well, you know, you'll go out on 1, 2, maybe 5 dates with these women, and then they just ghost you. You never see them again. And this was kind of like becoming a rinse and repeat thing.
Yeah, did they play the phone game nonsense with you as well?
Yeah. They
Where
just
like
would
they
stop.
give you your number, so like here's my number, but they give you some fake number and shit so that you'll call it later. Then it's not the person you got it from.
I've gotten a couple of fake numbers. Yeah, and there was a couple of others that just stopped calling altogether. You know, and you know when that happens, I just I you know you immediately know what they're
For
doing.
you females
So,
out here playing that game, man, y'all some sick in the head. You know, you're some freaks yourselves.
yeah,
You're some losers out here, really.
yeah, and you know you go you know, let me see, you just yeah, it's just unbelievable. You know, I've got
It's unbelievable how you call guys, and especially nice guys, losers and stuff, and how they use that propaganda. Oh, I'm tired of all the nice guys. I'm tired of all the guys and men out here playing games with me and stuff. But you think it's all right to play games with the guys out here and nice guys and stuff, and guys that'll treat you good and stuff, and you treat them like complete trash, right? You go out there, play the game, like Bill said and stuff. You give your fake numbers out and stuff. You giggle and you laugh with your girlfriends and stuff. You go home thinking it's funny, and it's not funny. And you're destroying a human being's mindset when you do that to them.
There was another time. It was kind of like it was a dating service that I was that I answered. It was in one of the local papers, and I met up with this woman. I was probably in my early 30s. I was probably like 32 years old at the time, and so we met up. We met up at some restaurant nearby, and when she showed up, she just took one look at me, all right, and she just immediately canceled out on the date. She just, you know, she gave me that fake excuse. Oh, my friend just got rushed to the hospital, was in a car accident. I got to go see her, you know.
Oh, so what she did was she just automatically stereotyped you out. That's what she did.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I showed up to this date. I had a brand new car, you know, and a really nice vehicle, dressed nice. And she took one look at me and saw me. I'm not, you know, just an average looking guy, average height. You know, I have the hair loss thing going on. She didn't see a model handsome movie star, and she just immediately stereotyped me out. I never saw her again. She told me, "Oh, I'll call you tomorrow," and I knew she wasn't going to call me.
So is this something like a PUA life coaching, dating place or something?
What's that again?
What was that establishment you met this woman at?
Oh, it was just some local. It was just some local ad in like a local newspaper. This was about 20 years ago. We didn't really have. I mean, online dating was there, but it wasn't really widespread
not what
yet.
it was as is today with the smartphones and the technology we got. Back then, it was pagers, and you have to rely on your supposedly communication skills to go out there socially in public and, you know, talk to people. You got to actually do that back then.
You had,
a
few dating sites back there, places you could go that was for dating. There wasn't many of them. You had to go in and fill out this big application thing and pay them money, and then they would set you up with somebody. Okay, but that works just as good as anything else works, right?
Yeah, I even tried, you know, back around 2006 or so, 2000, yeah, I think it was 2006. I tried Match.com. I was on there for about a year, and you know, I didn't get any dates out of that. You know, you're on there for a year. You messaged. I probably sent out about 50 different messages, to about 50 different women. No replies, you know. So
Did you ever get a notification when you were messaging out these females, these or women, females, depending on their attitude and character? When they seen did you get a notification that they actually saw your message when they were reading it? Did you notice that?
No, I didn't really. I got a reply back from one woman, just a reply. She just asking me a couple of questions, and then, you know, and she just quickly disappeared, you know.
And also, did you have a feature on the site to where you know when they read your message?
I probably did, but I really didn't. You know, I don't even know if that feature existed on Match.com back then. So I really don't know. Yeah, that might have. Yeah, that feature might have came along a little later. But no, I couldn't really tell if women were checking out my profile or anything like that.
Yeah, because it's kind of reminds me of slavery back in the days of slavery, modern day slavery back then. It's like they put the slave on display on a pedestal on display before all the slave owners and stuff, and pick the proper one for the best stock and buy it off. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Or it reminds me about back in the days of ancient Greece, to where the days of Sparta and the 300. We remember that one for those of us who are fans of the films and shit. To where what they did was when a new Spartan citizen was born as a baby, you have the elders look over the Spartan child, and they'll look for any defections, any type of sickness or weakness. And if they show those characteristics or traits of being weak, disabled, ugly, undesirable, guess what? They're immediately discarded, which means the baby's thrown from a high pillage to where they're thrown to their death and left to die.
Right. You know, the thing is with the online dating thing is, you know, women, you know, an average woman can go set up a profile on Match.com or any of these other dating outlets, and they'll get just bombarded with, you know, 30, 40, 50 messages every single day, you know. And that's probably another reason why none of the women were looking at me. I mean, I think I do remember a couple of women like viewed my profile. I think I do remember seeing that. It was so long. It was like, this was like, you know, again, it was like 16 years ago. So it was like, it's just kind of a little tough to remember little things like that. But anyway, just make a long story short, you know, that online dating thing didn't work for me. And it's like the dating in the real world. It just it was just as time was going on, as I was getting older, it was just getting worse and worse. And here I am, 52 years old, and you know, I'm just I'm just preparing myself for you know, spend the rest of my life all by myself here. You know, at times it can be a blessing. You know, you look at how bad marriages are and everything, and it kind of makes you appreciate that. Boy, I don't have to worry about losing my home to some unstable woman and having her use the court system to fleece me out of my life savings or whatever. But at other times it's a gut punch too.
You might be right.
You know, because you know you want that. You know, you want that companionship, and you want some, you know, a little bit of touch once in a while. You know.
Yeah. Well, guys, I hate to do it, but you know, I'm going to cut it off now. But remember, okay, Odyssey, True Force Loneliness, okay, that's where we're going to be at. Okay, we're going to be over at Odyssey. And so for the people in the chat, remember that's where we're going to be, is over on Odyssey, okay? And
all right, Bill.
That's where you're going to find us. You're not going to find us up here on YouTube, because we won't last up here on YouTube anyhow. But with that being said, guys, I'll drop, after this goes up, I'll drop the link to the Odyssey channel underneath the bar on this live stream once it goes up. Okay? And then we're going to be doing stuff over on Odyssey. That's where we'll be at. Okay? And as far as Dave, you know, or anybody wants to get involved in that, if you get a Zoom account and hit me up on Zoom, or hit Dwayne up on Zoom, okay, then if you want to become part of that, you can, okay? Because that's how that's going to work.
All right, you bet, Bill.
Okay, guys, and with that, I'm gonna get on out here. Dwayne, get some sleep. I'm gonna get some sleep.
Okay, take care, guys.
Okay,
All right, guys.
take care,
right.
guys.
Have a good night.
Bye bye.